Do you agree that when we look at the successors of the next generation of leaders here in Israel, some way they don't live up to those abilities to be statesmen, to make changes? Do you think it's due to the change of circumstance, or do you think it's due to the change of personality?
Well, thank you very much. I think it's clearly a different world, and we need different leadership. I wouldn't recommend to anybody to follow the leaders of the past. Here are sitting two leaders that have changed leadership. Tony Blair introduced the third way. Decided one way is wrong, the other way is wrong. Let's look for a way that may be right. And I want to say it's wise for two reasons. One, because all known ideologies have their opposition. If you introduce a new ideology people are not aware of, so they don't oppose it so much, and they give you a chance. And the second reason, I believe, Tony being young and courageous, was impatient with the process, and he is a leader that has decided to start his leadership with a happy end and not a long way to reach the happy end. And he changed. You know, once Nero criticized the two known ways, communism and capitalism. He says, what is the difference? He says, maybe in capitalistic countries there is a hell, but the communists claim they know the way to paradise. We say maybe in the capitalistic countries there is a paradise, but nobody knows to explain how did it happen. So he tried really to combine the two and then another way. Now I can also understand about Rahm. Chicago is great, but it wasn't clear what makes her great. And I believe what you have decided to keep her greatness, but in the right way. So the two of you really have shown. Now let me say a word about leadership as I say today. Leaders today should not lead. They should agree to be led by the people, in my judgment. That's a great difference. The reason is, leaders cannot lead even if they want to. The problems are one hand, global, and the leader cannot run the globe, even if he wants to. On the other hand, it is very individual. Like, no time, no chapter in history that was like that. And people want to be heard of and respected. You know, the squirrels today are stronger than the camps. The squirrels today are even stronger than parliaments. And then today, a leader stands up and says, I'm great, I'm strong, I'm this and that. They say, are you? Can you bring an end to the financial crisis? Oh, he says, I don't know. Can you bring an end to terror? He says, I don't know. And actually, he cannot bring an end neither to the economic crisis nor to the problem of terror unless the people are with him. And the people will be with him if he will be with the people. So I believe today, leaders are servants, not rulers. I think it's a mistake for a leader to think or feel or behave like a ruler. What he has to do is really to enhance the capacity of the people to express their deep worries. It is not only that leaders cannot lead, But all told, here we are talking about hope. People feel in the depth of their heart that they are unmatched and unprecedented problems. We are not sure about our future. There are two reasons for it. We are so successful in building an artificial intelligence that we are afraid at a point we may lose control over their strengths. And we feel we are in a competition with what is being today called the great data. We know so much about us, more than we know about ourselves. And if previously robots were implementing plans, today they are capable of planning too. They have enough information. So we are beginning to feel a little bit uneasy. And there is one unbalanced issue. The second is we didn't respect the natural balance of our earth, of our nature. And we are now beginning to be worried about the revanche of nature against us, overusing the free air, the blue skies, the balance between water and food and happiness. And there is a third point. We are worried about the imbalance between us, the interface between brain and, say, computer. The imbalance that we have created, and now we know every moment it can happen. I never thought in my life that fresh air will become a commodity, that you have to buy fresh air. And whether it is in China, that to be today they invest in, it's like smoking 2 packages of cigarettes, whether you are in the United States and having every 3 years the appearance of a hurricane, of a storm. But there is a third point too. Majorities are not sure about them. Why? You have to have a majority to do the right things, but you don't need a majority to do the wrong things. A small group of people can destroy our life, and we don't know how to handle it. I mean, there are mental illnesses, there are sadistic people, there are schizophrenic. It doesn't matter how many are they. You will get a bomb. If they decide to burn a city, they can do it. 2 persons can paralyze Boston. 15 persons can come to Manhattan and kill 3,000 innocent people. Or 4 persons can come to Russia and kill 400 children. And we don't know what to do with them. How can we manage ourselves? How can we become leaders of our own self? And those are 3 great major problems that we have to be modest enough to realize them and work with all people to change and avoid those catastrophes.
You said, you don't hear me. So your opening remark was that leaders do not need to lead, but be led by the people, and we're going to touch on that on the second part of the panel. I would like to start...
If you'll just give me word to make it understood.
You know, it's your birthday, so I'm going to have to give you my reputation of not conducting a panel, so can I go on?
You know, I was in the government. I was in the administration of Israel for 65 years. And I look back and ask myself, on what did I spend most of my time? My answer is of handling frictions. I mean, people, leaders, institutions all the time. Then I became president. I don't have an administration. They don't have friction. And then I decided you don't have administration, you don't have frictions, what can you do? And my answer is instead of governing the people, I'm turning to them and they suggest that they volunteer. Since I'm hanging on volunteering, I believe I can be more effective than hanging on government. The very same people who don't like laws, you'll be surprised to see how quickly and fully they volunteer. And the real power of our time is not power, but the strength of goodwill. That is my real answer.